So let's picture this. You spent 23 years building one of the most terrifying careers in the history of professional wrestling. You survive the UFC, you dismantle legends, you end careers. And then on the grandest stage of them all, they've got a 24-year-old take you down, takes your absolute best shot, absorbs a full F5, stands right back up, and sends you into retirement. That happened, guys. That was Sunday night in Las Vegas for WrestleMania Night 2. And the night, 33 minutes and 56 seconds later, ended with after 33 minutes of a match, ended with Roman Reigns alone, no bloodline, no shortcuts, typical OTC fashion. He takes the World Heavyweight Championship from CM Punk in what might be the best WrestleMania main event of that night. Could it be the best one of the modern era? That's for everyone else to decide. For me, it was fine. But we will see what goes from here. So I'm about to tell you what I think match by match. I'm going to do my best to be straightforward and to the point, and we'll get out of this video as soon as we can. So welcome to the T-Drop Strong Brew No Soft Behavior. We get 6 matches on the Night 2 card. We get 6 verdicts. We go match by match. What happened, what it means, and where it goes from here. No press. We're not going to go all pressy take. We're just going to talk from our hearts, I guess, at this point, because why not? We start with the Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar match. Then the Intercontinental title ladder match. We get Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, the Demon Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. We get Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, and then we save serious time for the main event, Roman Reigns and CM Punk, because that match deserved every minute they gave it. So let's get into this drop. You don't know who I'm talking about? GeekZip knows. Stop it, GeekZip. You know who I'm talking about. Stop it. Stop it. All right. We get Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. And this was a solid match. For an ESPN grade, I'm going to give it an A+. Why not? I'm just going to drop letters. So let me set the scene when it comes to this match. But even before this match happens, John Cena opens Night 2. The arena transitions from the Night 1 dystopian look to this blue cyberpunk future gen vibe. And then Brock Lesnar music hits. Paul Heyman is at ringside. WWE puts up the tale of the tape for these two men. And here's an interesting detail you need to look into. Oba Femi outrank Brock Lesnar in nearly every stat on the board. Let that land before a single punch is thrown in this match, because the match itself was short, under 5 minutes to be exact. And I need you to understand why this is not a criticism. The length is the story of this match. Lesnar confronts early, throws Femi into the ring, steps outside, he lands multiple German suplexes, he even hits the F5. The F5! The move that has finished legends, the move that put John Cena, Randy Orton, CM Punk, The Undertaker on the canvas. Oba Femi stands right back up. He just gets up. Femi unloads running uppercuts, hits a chokeslam, and then the falls from grace, and that's it. The Beast Incarnate is done. But then, here's where it gets really interesting. Brock Lesnar removes his gloves, he takes off the boots, he places them on the canvas at Allegiant Stadium, and he walks out of professional wrestling. No speech, no farewell tour, just boots on the canvas. And that crowd, chanting Oba louder than anything we heard on Night 1, told you everything you needed to know about how this night is gonna land. This was perfect booking. I mean, that without any hedging, this is the match of the night for what it means, not just what it was. Brock Lesnar laid down literally and figuratively for Oba Femi's future. It's all there. A decisive, dominant, no fluke victory on the biggest stage in the industry. Now, there is going to be a conversation. You're going to hear people say WWE should have saved this for Gunther at SummerSlam. Let the ring general be the one to close Brock Lesnar's chapter. And I'm telling you right now, at this point, don't do it. Don't give Gunther a rub he doesn't need. Let Oba Femi own this moment permanently. He should be the world champion in the future, maybe before the year runs out. And this is the foundation that lays it. Now, the question I'm dropping in the chat or in the comments is, you're going to let me know if Brock Lesnar's career is actually officially over, or are we being worked into thinking this is permanent? Drop your answer. We'll go from there. So, like I said, let's give it an A plus. All right, let's move on to the next match, which is the 6-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Champion. Penta defending the Intercontinental Champion against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio himself. Now, look, I'm not going to pretend ladder matches at this scale aren't spot fests. They are. That's the format that these were set up for. You've got 6 people, a title hanging above them, and a crowd that wants to pop loud. The question is whether the spots justify the chaos. Sunday night, they did. Who do you think the star of this match was? Because I'll tell you right now, it wasn't the champion. It was Javon Evans. That's the name you need to remember coming out of WrestleMania 42. The kid climbed to the top rope and hit an OG cutter on Rusev, who was on a ladder in the center of the ring. Michael Cole was calling it out in real time because there was no other option. That spot lives on a highlight reel for the rest of Evans' career. That is the kind of moment that changes what someone's name means in this industry. Now, should Evans have won? No, not really. And here's why. Because Penta hasn't had enough time with the belt. An intercontinental reign is built through challenges, through the defenses, through the character that emerges while you hold the title. You don't cut that short because someone else had a better night in the multi-man ladder match. Now, other standouts in this match, Dragon Lee had an excellent sequence with Rey Mysterio, which Cole rightfully noted was the first time they were facing each other in WWE, which was great. It was a sharp, physical storytelling inside a ladder match, which is sometimes hard to do. Dragon Lee needs a strong post WrestleMania program. WWE can't let him drift because otherwise we're going to have bigger issues next year for him. Now, some big spots in the match. Rusev broke through a suspended ladder with his head and came back. Penta hit a Mexican destroyer on JD McDonough from one ladder onto a bridge ladder. That was amazing. Penta then bounced Evans with another Mexican destroyer and climbed for the win. What can it be going forward? Let's start with this. The Intercontinental Championship is the most historically significant mid-card title in the wrestling history for WWE. And it's been sometimes mismanaged for some stretches of its time. Penta has the charisma, he has the athleticism, and the crowd invested to make this title feel important again. Evans, Dragon Lee, either of these feuds can be elevated television if WWE commits to it. So for me, when it comes to this match, I'm going to give it an A-. An absolute blast from bell to bell. It was a fun match. We move on to the next match, which is Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn for the United States Championship. Now, Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn was a really good match. And before I break it down, I need to give Trick his flowers on the entrance. The little Yachty introducing him, the jacket that stretched the entire length of the WrestleMania ramp, the crowd chanting "Whoop that Trick" from the moment the music hit. It's not even a cool moment at this point. It's just showing how a babyface with main event potential can be used in the future for main event production. This right here is all main event level when it comes to Trick Williams. Now, the match itself was very tightly composed. It was shorter than I think should have been. WrestleMania 42 as a whole at this point ran fast, and Trick and Sammy got cut short in my opinion. I had given this honestly maybe 3 more minutes, maybe even 5 minutes easy. But here's what matters. Trick Williams beat Sami Zayn clean. There was a little Yachty assist though, pulling Zayn off the top rope to set up the trick shot. But the finish was a clean trick shot to the face. No roll up, no stolen pin. He hit the move and he won. Now, what does this do for the Trick Williams ceiling? The ceiling just got removed. You cannot put meaningful limit on Trick Williams' trajectory right now. He has the look, the crowd, the charisma, and the athleticism. The US title is a launch pad for him at this point, and it's not his final destination. If WWE keeps him babyface, maybe, I feel they absolutely need to. because the crowd will not boo this man at this point. This Trick William is a main event conversation probably by SummerSlam. Now, what does Sammy do next? Maybe this feud continues. I mean, the booking has been pointing Sammy towards a darker place, a heelish face, a frustrated heel who knows he's the best, who can't convince the world, who's still chasing a world championship he feels he deserves. The character works for Sammy. Sammy has the promo skills, the ring work, and the emotional range to make a heel turn compelling instead of gimmickly, if done right. So my grade for this Trick versus Sammy, we had the right call, the right winner, but I think it needed more time. But Trick Williams left WrestleMania as a star, so they did their job. We get Nets Demon Finn Balor against Dominic Mysterio in a street fight that they made it was originally a regular match and they turned it into a street fight at the last minute before the show started. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio they made a street fight earlier in the day. And before we break down this match, I need to talk about the entrances. Dominic Mysterio had one of the best individual WrestleMania entrances in recent memory. Multiple masked luchadors carrying him on a throne. He's wearing a full lucha mask. He removes it. He dives off the throne, and luchadors catch him. We have flags following him down the ramp. Star making production. Whatever you think of Dirty Dom's in ring work, and we'll get to it, WWE has decided he is one of the future pillars, and they backed that decision with everything they had on Sunday. And then the demon comes out. The heartbeat hits. Finn Balor walks through a sea of smoke. He picks up the spiked helmet. The crowd pops. Very hard for this. Because here's the thing. No matter what we say about whether this character still has legs in 2026, in that moment at WrestleMania, it worked. The match, kendo sticks, steel chairs, some tables, Slim Jim tables. Dominic brings multiple chairs into the ring. He hits a 619 on Finn Balor with a steel chair wrapped around Balor's neck, following it with a frog splash. Then the demon kicks out at one. The crowd loses their mind because the character has mystique, and mystique is currency in this business. Balor hits a pair of shotgun drop kicks, climbs to the top, and the coup de grace closes it. So is the demon character still effective, or is it a nostalgia pop? Honest answer, it's going to be both. And that's fine if you use it right, though. The demon is probably at this point a WrestleMania weapon. Deploy it at major events in a singular high-stakes match, and it maintains its power. Bring it out every other Tuesday, and it dies instantly. So Sunday had the right context, but I wish they made it a surprise for everyone, because that would have been much better. What's next for Dominic? Well, he needs to rebuild. He's lost the IC title, he's lost this feud, but that entrance, the production investment alone, tells you WWE still believes in him. He's young, he has room to develop, so we'll see. The Judgment Day is fragmenting though, and that fragmenting might be the best thing that ever happened to Dominic Mysterio's solo run. But we will see. So grade-wise, I'll give it a B. The entrances outperformed the match, the coup de grace closes it, and it was the right result. So shout out to that match. Next, it's the Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. I'm going to be straight with you. The honest take I have on this match is that unfortunately it was the weakest match on night 2 card. And it's not a shot on either woman. I want to be specific about that because the structure here for this match was predictable. We all saw what was coming. Jade controls the early portion of the match. The baddies, Mitchin and BFAB gets involved for Jade from the outside. And then eventually, obviously, Io Sky's music will hit. She comes out. She neutralizes the interference, evens the odds for Rhea to win. And she does, and Rhea Ripley wins. We have seen this type of scaffolding before. And on a WrestleMania card at this level, after a main event level type of ladder match, after a 33-minute war headlining the show, this needed one more gear that never arrived. Now, when it comes to Jade, honestly, whether it's a growth or plateau, I'm going to say she's had a steady plateau when it came to this match. She had a steady growth. Jade Cargill at this stage of her career, she's an elite physical presence, a legitimate powerhouse, and someone who delivers on big shows. She is just not yet the ring general that Rhea is. And in a direct program with Rhea, who is the standard in women's wrestling on this roster? And that gap showed. But she did better than I would have expected. I honestly expected her to not do so well in this match, and she shocked people, at least in that end. Did she plateau? No. Jade is still developing, and hopefully it gets better as she gets to the highest level. She has time and she has an upside. It's just the ceiling isn't set for her. Rhea Ripley is the standard for the women's division right now. Every women's match at WrestleMania is being measured against what she delivers. She is the measuring stick at this point, and everyone else is trying to reach it. The most interesting story coming out of this match is Io Sky, though. That was a deliberate choice. That sets something up. We'll see. Maybe she gets a future match. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. We will see. But overall, for this match, for what it was, I'll give it a C plus. We got the result that probably everyone was expecting. We got the champion that everyone wanted for the most part. But the match in itself needed more, and we knew that coming into this. So now, guys, before we get to this one, the main event, WrestleMania 42. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like the stream, guys. So let's get to the main event. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. This was a 33 minutes and 50 seconds match. I'm going to ask you something. Going into WrestleMania 42, what did you need from this match? Because I think there were three groups in this fan base that expected a few things from this match. Number one, Punk finally standing tall. He's been through everything. He deserves the WrestleMania main event picture. Group two, Roman proves he doesn't need the bloodline. He deserves the WrestleMania moment. He operates alone for the first time and he wins it, which is where I was in. Just give me a great match and we'll figure everything else after, because that's how I felt when it came to WrestleMania. Just give me a great match. Only one of these three things didn't fully happen. And the debate about which one, that's a conversation that's going to carry throughout the next couple of weeks for Raw, SmackDown, for the next 3 months. Now, when it comes to this match, these two things fought. It wasn't a showcase. It wasn't a coronation of a new champ. It was an all-out war between these two men. Back and forth for 33 minutes. Punk was bleeding. Roman was taken to the brink of his stretch multiple times. The crowd was in this from bell to final fall. The finish, Punk tries to lift Roman for a second GTS. His body gives out. He collapses. Roman spears him. 1, 2, 3. No bloodline, no Paul Heyman, no outside interference. Roman Reigns alone is the world heavyweight champion. Now, let me tell you exactly what I think they're doing and whether this works. Roman winning alone is the point when it comes to this match. The entire bloodline saga over the 4 years of television that they did with that story was built on Roman needing people around him to maintain dominance. Whether it was Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, the Usos, Jacob Fatu, there was always a safety net under Roman. He was dominant, yes, but he was never truly alone. And here's a detail the IWC is sleeping on. People were reporting that WWE actually considered a different finish for this match. This outcome wasn't automatic. Somebody in creative made a deliberate decision that Roman Reigns solo by himself via 2 spears is how this story goes. It's a great story it's a great choice with the conviction behind it. This is what it should have been. And it's great that they finally decided to do the right call for storytelling. Now, Sunday night, Allegiant Stadium watched Roman Reigns stand in the middle of the ring with nobody when he won. It's a new character arc for Roman Reigns. The question is, for his next chapter is, who is Roman Reigns when he doesn't need anyone? What does a self-sufficient, morally complex Roman looks like as champion? What does he fight for now that the bloodline war might be over for the most part? Now, was this the right call? I believe so. And here's why. Punk as champion had a ceiling at this specific moment. The World Heavyweight Champion, after watching this and realizing all this, is that the World Heavyweight title needed to move to someone whose story has somewhere to go with, I guess. Roman's story, they're gonna, now that they confirm he's gonna be wrestling till summer, they're gonna do a story that he is gonna set a standard without anyone behind him, without a machine, without a group. It's gonna give him a new set of layers as Roman Reigns, the OTC. It gives this championship narrative beyond weight, a little weight beyond prop. But hey, this was what the corporate called. He should be DQ for the steps being used. Well, no one saw it. There you go. And see it. They should have just made this a no DQ match. But anyway, Roman's previous reign lasted, what was it, 1,300 and something days. He knows how to carry a championship. He knows how to be the new position face for the show. And on the post show of WrestleMania, he told the world he's going to be around all summer. Everyone at Allegiant Stadium heard that. So there we go. Now, where does Punk go? That is the question that should matter most of the WWE right now, because CM Punk loses at WrestleMania again. Punk has said publicly he's not hung up on wins and losses. He cares about the work. And the work Sunday night that match was excellent. But at some point, you have to pay this off, or CM Punk becomes the most credible challenger who never closes, which is a disservice to him, but it is what it is. Now, for me, Punk doesn't chase an immediate rematch. He's probably going to take time away. He's going to drift away, and maybe he'll come back later. In his alliances, in his motivation, in his characters, something's going to reshuffle. We're going to get a different Punk maybe when he goes for his Nets run. It has to happen before his in-ring career is done, but we will see what happens. Now, match of the night, match of the weekend, match for many, it was the match of the night, match of the weekend. For me, it was the Overfemi Brock Lesnar. I just thought it was pure fun. But this is one of the best main events in recent memory. It was great, but it's the one match that probably saved most of the nights, both nights at this point. This whole night too saved the whole WrestleMania, to be honest. So my grade for this one is, I'll give it an A+. Why not? Look at me being generous. Imagine if I did the letter grading for night one. It would have been ruthless. Now, where I land with Roman Reigns as world champion coming out of WrestleMania 42, hopefully is WWE not trying to do a nostalgia play because everyone loved it before, so they're trying to get more out of this. We'll see. But this isn't, hopefully, Roman recapturing something just because his name means ratings. Maybe this is WWE making a deliberate statement that Roman Reigns is a complete character now, and they are going to show you who he is without a safety net, without people helping him. We'll see. 1,300 and so days as champ. Taught him everything. Sunday night, he used that education. He beat CM Punk within a 33-minute match alone on the biggest stage. Whether you want Punk to win, and I understand why you did because I thought the same way, but what we got in us is a story with the room to grow. A champion with a point to prove, and a trail of unanswered questions that should pull you back to Raw every single week until the summer is over. This is the night that saved the weekend. It did. But here you go. There's all the matches for night 2 broken down match by match. So for me, I'm going to end it with this for a few questions for you guys. Hopefully I'll pin it for you. Question number 1, is Brock Lesnar truly retired, or do we get one more match out of him? 2, who is Trick Williams' first major feud as US champ? And 3, does Roman carry Raw as a solo act, or does the bloodline find its way back into the picture? Drop your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. If the T hit right, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.